Ever thought you could get fined for wearing the wrong shoes on vacation, or be forced to adopt 2 guinea pigs at once? In some parts of the world, rules can be stranger than fiction. They might protect local culture, keep things orderly, or simply baffle anyone who dares to read the fine print. This is Oddly Interesting, your place for the unusual. Today, we are looking at a handful of surprising laws that actually exist. Some are recent, others are centuries old, and they all have one thing in common. They leave travelers and locals wondering how on earth anyone came up with them. Let's start with a rule in Victoria, Australia, that might surprise do-it-yourself enthusiasts. Changing a light bulb without a licensed electrician can technically land you a fine. The idea was to prevent electrical accidents, but to outsiders, it sounds over the top. If your bulb flickers out, you might want to keep a pro on speed dial, just in case. Next, we jump to Singapore, a place famous for its pristine streets. While it's great to see gum-free sidewalks, this didn't happen by chance. In 1992, Singapore banned the import and sale of most chewing gum. Doors on trains and elevators kept getting jammed when people stuck gum in the wrong places. Over time, the rules have relaxed a bit for therapeutic or nicotine gum, but regular bubble gum is still very hard to find. Some might think it's over the top, while others say it preserves that spotless shine the city is known for. Now, if you think loud flushing in the middle of the night is no big deal, parts of Switzerland might disagree. Certain apartment buildings have strict noise regulations, including a ban on flushing toilets after 10 p.m. Although enforcement varies, the idea is to protect neighbours from disruptive sounds. Some residents shrug it off as a quirky custom, while others are baffled by the notion of a toilet curfew. Either way, it shows how one country's standard might look rather odd to outsiders. Speaking of Switzerland, there's another rule that proves the country cares deeply about animal welfare. Owning just 1 guinea pig is against the law because these furry critters are considered social animals that need a companion. People who adopt one must adopt a second to keep it company. If a lone guinea pig loses its partner, specialized matchmaking services exist to help find it a new friend. It may sound eccentric, but supporters say it prevents loneliness and promotes better care. Next, we travel to the United States. Arizona has a law that prohibits letting a donkey sleep in a bathtub. While it sounds made up, local stories say it emerged after a donkey found shelter in an old tub, then got swept away by floodwaters when a dam broke. Rescuers had a massive job retrieving the poor animal, and authorities decided no one should keep a donkey in a bathtub again. The law might not be a top priority for modern officials, but it remains on the books. Now, in Georgia, the city of Gainesville insists that fried chicken be eaten with your hands. Local folks once pranked a visitor who used a fork, issuing a playful citation. Although it's rarely enforced, this fried chicken capital wants to ensure people enjoy poultry the proper way. It might be tongue-in-cheek, yet it stands as an official ordinance. Visitors are best advised to dig in finger-style to avoid a gentle reprimand. Meanwhile, Capri in Italy enforces a curious rule about noisy footwear. Tourists squeaking down narrow streets or clomping around in flip-flops that echo off ancient walls have irked enough locals that officials took action. Now, excessively loud shoes can land you in hot water. If you're planning a stroll in Capri, consider something softer on the ears to keep local peace and spare yourself a potential fine. And lastly, there's a quirky law in Denmark that regulates baby naming. Parents must choose from a list of government-approved names or apply for special permission to use one that's not on the list. The intention is to protect children from truly odd names, though critics argue it stifles creativity. If you want to call your child Moon Shadow, be ready to prove it won't cause problems down the road. So, why do these laws persist? Some date back to a specific incident, like a flooded donkey. Others protect heritage, while a few aim to keep public spaces orderly. Some folks might find them quirky or silly, but behind every odd rule lies a local concern, whether it's preserving ancient ruins or keeping noise levels down. Thank you for watching. If these head-scratching laws made you smile, please like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments if you've stumbled upon any bizarre rules while traveling. Check out one of the videos on your screen for more oddly interesting topics. You never know what strange truths might pop up next.